puedes hablar en castellano.
Sí, pero a presentación la tengo feita. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the organizers for having us out to my communication. As I really think that gender is it needs a space in education. I'd also like to thank the colleagues who are giving us here a lot of food thought to take back to our place of origin, which will hopefully make us better professionals in the theater, and the audience here for taking time off your holidays to be here, which means that there are people who care about education. The present year, 2014, is very seen as an important year in the revision of our gender. Up to now, we have seen how the most popular social network, Facebook, has progressed from the only male-female members in the profile, the only male-female option in the profile, to 56 other options. We have seen how India's highest court has accepted a third gender among their citizens, who can now see a new label stamped on their identification cards whenever they go to vote. And we have seen, for instance, how macho masculinity as high speak, Jason Collins, NBA basketball player, black, popular, strong, muscular, we have seen how he has come out as gay. So this all means that we're making a lot of progress as regards gender in the adult world. But what happens when it is children who are involved? In that case, we only see two clear-cut different worlds. We have the masculine, which is ruled by a blue hero that seems to reign over good and bad, and the feminine, which is ruled by a cute princess who seems to turn into pink anything she delicately touches. And the masculine is also maneuvered by the culture of hegemonic masculinity, to use colonial terms, in which men are strong, they're active, they're the heroes, they're unemotional, and they are smart by nature. And the feminine, the counterparts, are passive, delicate, beautiful, not too smart, so totally the opposite. And no matter how hard we try to avoid these terms when it is the adults we are referring to, it is not understandable that we keep using these labels, we keep labeling kids in these two ridiculous cosmos. We as parents, educators, teachers, I think we have to take a huge step here. We have to guide our children to an amazing Pantone brain and not just a dull blue-pink world. As a matter of fact, there are multiple ways to educate our youth in a non-gender stereotype way. In my brief investigation, I'm going to use one of the basic skills, reading, to obtain this outcome, for which we will take advantage of all the technological possibilities that we are offered. And this way, pupils will feel they're actually learning 20th century matter in a 21st century, and not the other way as it usually happens. Well, first of all, we need to grasp the vocabulary, the gender concepts. Here you have an ethnographic, I don't know if you're familiar with it, this is done by Sam Killerman, who is a showman that tries to challenge all kind of gender stereotypes. His webpage is up there, it's pronounced metrosexual.com. And he says that whenever we approach gender, we have to take into account 4 different realms. First of all, identity, that is whether you're a woman or a man, but that is not the only option. Here, we're going to break binaries all the time, okay? Then, gender expression, whether you're masculine or feminine, but you can be also androgynous, hypermasculine. And this is, gender expression is the one that we'll be referring to in this investigation, as my investigation addresses mainly primary children. Then biological sex, that is whether you are born with which organs. It's not always just a penis and a vagina, even though that is the most common thing. There are people who are not born that way, and we have to take them into account. And then attraction, whether you are attracted to men, women, but again, not the only options. You can be gay, straight, you can be pansexual, bisexual, asexual. Okay, so now I'm going to show you quickly a battery of activities that we can use with our kids. I have named this activity What is Blue, What is Pink. This is done through a Venn diagram application. You can find this in Read, Write, I think it's Read, Write, well, it must be in the bibliography, readwritethink.org. And in this application, what you can do is you can make the circles bigger. This is a typical Venn diagram. So the lesson goes this way. I give the kids a tale, or I have them read a tale, which has got a lot of a classic tale with lots of gender stereotypes that get soaked up in those stereotypes. Afterwards, I give them a sheet of paper, which is all covered. It's got words all over that are somehow related to a feminine or masculine world. And then in groups or in pairs, I have them, with this application, they'll have to put the different items they have in their papers in this circle or this other circle. This application, you can make the circles bigger or smaller. I'll make them the same size to represent equality, and I'll color them in blue and pink to represent those two worlds. Well, hopefully at the end, I'll have the people come out to the digital board, and at the end, we'll see how all of them have to be in between. Another activity, for example, is this, I call it Guess Who or Who is Who. This is done through a trading card application. We have seen how in our class books, whether they're history books, math books, or literature books, it is always men who are the conquerors, the heroes, the protagonists of the lessons. Well, we have to turn this tendency upside down. So what I do is I give them names of important personalities, women, throughout history. They'll have to choose one, and again, in pairs or in groups, they'll have to fill in all these questions about that character in particular, that person in particular. They can put the photograph of the person and whatever. And afterwards, they'll have to come out, and in front of the rest of the class, they'll have to explain who that is without saying the name of a person, and the rest of the class will have to guess who that is. So they will not only be learning about their the person they were chosen, they chose, but the others as well. Okay, this might be addressed maybe to secondary pupils or the last years of primary school, and perhaps because this is done through Twitter. This is inspired in, I don't know if you are familiar with it, the hashtag not buying it. So the pupils, they'll do this whenever they go out and they see it in a media or in a shop, something which they think is not fair as regards gender. They'll take a picture of it with their smartphones or cameras, and then using the hashtag not for me, which is how I have named this activity, they'll have to hang it in. The tweet page will have open for that purpose in the class, and every day we'll be checking out 2 or 3 of those tweets. So this is amazing how children or teenagers will become gender detectives. They will be so aware of seeing gender stereotypes everywhere that you have to be careful with the vocabulary you use in class, or if you're a parent too, because I've done a workshop, I've conducted a workshop, and then it was like, well, you were using that word. Sorry, it's amazing how aware they become of the stereotypes with time. Okay, we can also do mind maps. Mindmap.com will be the webpage where you can find this. And the activity goes this way. I give them books which will show, they will be non-gender stereotype books, so where there will be performing masculine roles and the other way around, vice versa. And then have them then we'll meet as a group, a mind map, in which we'll have to find out gender stereotype breakers related to images, to roles, or to language. So images, if they see a boy wearing a dress in that book, that will challenge gender stereotypes. Or a girl on the cover of your book. Roles, if they see a boy as a ballet dancer, for example, or a dad as a homemaker. Language, if they see the word, I don't know, crime boy, or smart girl, active girl, something like that, okay? And again, this will open up a lot of discussion. And this is done through the application LIM, L-I-M, where they can make their own digital books. This actually is one that is already, you can find it on the page. It's called O Sueño de Lolo, it's in Galician and in Spanish too. And it challenges all kinds of stereotypes, but in that particular comic, it is challenging gender stereotypes. And afterward, there are activities which the pupils can make that are related to the story. With older pupils, we can have them do the activities, make the activities, prepare them, and then do them later. With the younger children, the younger pupils, we'll prepare the activities for them, and then they'll do them on their own. And then most of these activities, the good thing is that they will not only do them at home in class, but at home, whenever they have any kind of, they have an iPad or whenever they have connection. Okay, and this is Scoop. This is sort of a motor search. I don't know if I have named this. Yes, we can. Okay, what you can do here with this activity is to, for example, give them a topic, gender stereotypes. Then in groups, they'll have to do a search. This application, this Scoop application, provides you with 100 suggestions about the topic you type. So they'll have to do a search, and each group will name it in a different way. That means they will get different answers about different news, different media related to that topic. And afterward, they will have to hang it on the Scoop page, prepared for that purpose in the class too, and will comment on it every day. And at home, they will be able to read theirs, they will be able to show them to their parents, and not only theirs, but others as well. So there's a lot of collaborative work. You can even do it with other classes, with other schools, in which you can do a project as a group. And with Tuxedo, you can, you have shapes which you can fill up with lots of words. That's pretty much the essential thing of the application. So once you have worked with vocabulary that has to do with gender, I'll have them make any shape in which I have introduced that vocabulary, because you don't know a word until you're familiar with it. So they'll be familiar because they're typing those words, they're using them, reading them afterwards. Another activity they can do with this application, for instance, I can give them, they can give in groups, for example, they can think about any classic tale, and they'll have to make a tuxedo using words from that tale. The rest of the class will have to guess which tale they're talking about, and they can even give some clues with the shape of the tuxedo, right? Or another activity could be making, the teacher will make a tuxedo, and they will have to make a non-gender stereotype tale based on the words that I have included there, and even the shape. So if there is an umbrella, they'll have to include somehow an umbrella in that story, always challenging gender stereotypes. Sporstrom puts it in her work, Gender Outlaw, expecting people to, and I'm quoting, to fall easily into categories of male or female is like calling a rainbow black or white. So we don't want our pupils to get constricted into these two worlds. We wish them to have as many shades as possible of their own rainbow. We want them to love beauty, to create beauty, but their own unique beauty. And what better way to do it than by reading? That's reading, again, all types of tests, not just compulsory tests that we tell them to do at school, to read at school, and in all kinds of technological means, right? Not only with the book. Now, one thing about the applications here is that they're not 100% free, all of them, but there is this fear about spending money on applications. We do spend money in our libraries, in many things, and there are some applications that are very interesting and we could use. Okay, so don't be afraid of spending money on applications. Not like, it's not free, I won't take it. Okay, there are some of them that will be very, very helpful. Let's start changing our minds. And then going a bit farther, probably opening up field for future research, I could advise the schools to follow the UK's example for starting to teach coding this year, this fall. So if we teach kids to code, they'll probably be able to become activists in gender. They'll be able to make their own programs, their own games, and their own applications. They will not just have to copy ones that we show them here in class, but they'll be able to create their own ones. So that is probably the next step in learning. Thank you very much.